Hello, welcome to the Real Hernando podcast. My name is Derek. I'm your host, and this podcast is designed to help support local business and local figures in the community of Hernando, Mississippi. You can find us and more information at therealhernando.com. So today is exciting because for the first time I get to interview a brand new business, relatively speaking. The business is called Boba Cream, located right on Commerce Street. And I'm speaking to the owner here, Ryan Duren.
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for being on the show, Ryan.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so my daughter and I have been eyeing this place since the minute you had things on the window. It took a couple months, and then you guys opened up, and now we're going to be a popular fan of you. And then we just had a ribbon cutting for you at the chamber, so that was exciting just a couple weeks ago. So I was like, man, let's get you on the podcast, and let's get your story and help promote your business. Selfishly, I'm a huge fan of boba tea.
Yeah.
So, so we can talk about that. So first off, introduce yourself, and before we get into your backstory, let's just give a quick synopsis of what Boba Cream is as a product and what your store is and what it serves.
Right. So I'm the owner, Ryan. Boba Cream, honestly, our approach is that everybody should have a great tea when they leave here. There's a lot of boba tea places that'll kind of just, sell you whatever. They don't really help you out. Like when you come down here, we're going to make sure we match your flavor to your personality. Mm-hmm. And if you don't like it, we're not going to let you leave till we get it right. So that's kind of honestly our thing. And we've maybe only had like a handful of people who don't like it. And it's usually like really little kids who just are real picky, or like, just the average person is like, hey, it's not for me. And we're like, hey, that's all right. So
yeah. So anyone that has no idea what boba is, let's explain like the base as far as like the tea, and then some of the additives like the bursting pearls or popping pearls, and then some of the gummies. Like it's quite, and anyone that's watching here, this is, what's this new flavor?
That's the Star Wars inspired Bantha tea.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
And it's got popping pearls. What do you call them?
Yeah, popping pearls. Yeah, that one is actually a yogurt. And then this is actually a super unique drink. A lot of people try to recreate just this one in itself. But for this one, we use a blueberry syrup, non-dairy creamer. And then we use an actual, we hand brew and dip this butterfly pea flower, which gives it that crazy blue look to it. Yeah.
And then the popping pearls is just that. They have different flavors too. So this one, these pearls are yogurt.
Yep.
And you have a massive straw, so they fit through the straw. And then you pop them, and then it just adds this other burst of flavor in there that mixes well.
Almost like a complete flavor profile change, or like a palate cleanser, stuff like that. So
it's my favorite part.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
So awesome. Let's talk about your backstory, because the brief story I got from you is very interesting because of how you discovered boba tea, or there's a background between that and you being in the military.
That's
correct?
Right. Yeah.
So let's go back to your what's your military career look like, and how did that start?
So my first 5 years, I was stationed at Seymour Johnson, North Carolina. I wasn't there too much because I was constantly deployed. So I got all my big deployments out of the way that I wanted, like Iraq, Afghanistan, Africa, things like that. And the type of person that I am, I went in with a dream that I wanted to be a canine handler, and I just let nothing stop me. So once I became a canine handler, they're like, hey, great, we're going to stick you in Asia for the rest of your career, which didn't bother me much. I always wanted to visit Asia.
How long were you in Asia?
I think probably about 8 years or so, maybe longer.
Permanent?
Permanent, yeah.
So you can come home and visit, but it wasn't like you were getting deployed to Asia.
No.
You were stationed in Asia.
Yeah, stationed, yeah. So I was in Korea for a year. I really traveled a lot, experienced the culture. That's like my first time ever, seeing boba tea, and I just tried to get as much Asian culture as I could. From there, I went to Japan for about 3 years. And they do boba tea too. Everybody in Asia does it. So I really immersed while other people are going out, experiencing each other or partying or whatever. Like me, I wanted to really, I wasn't going to waste that opportunity. So I kind of just really absorbed all the culture. And from there, went back to Korea and explored even more. And then from there, went to Guam, met my wife. She's a great person. And we were there for about 3 years. And then we had the choice to stay in Guam or to come back to the States. And I thought, hey, it's time to come back. Like my career's kind of winding down. I'm trying to look at seeing what else I can get into. And so we moved back to Nebraska, and I knew the second I stepped on American soil it was going to be hot. So I was there 2 weeks, and boom, they just sent me out again. And I was like, all right, well, this is the last hurrah. Did my last deployment, and I was like, all right, let's get out. And then I kind of wanted to prove to myself that I could continue to do the canine thing on the outside. So I did that here for like a government agency here in Memphis, and realized, great, I proved it to myself, but let's go do something for ourselves, like my wife and I.
So when did you land in Memphis?
Just about like 2 years ago. And it was just really by chance, because my father had moved here for a job, and I was like, well, let's go see what it's about. And I honestly, as soon as I landed here, I fell in love with this place, and I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So,
I have my story about Hernando too.
yeah.
So 2020 is when you...
Yeah, I would say right at, like, it was really, honestly, like right at the beginning of the pandemic, like we came right in. So
were you able to get a place to live before everything shut down?
Yeah, it was surprising because we had looked everywhere, and we had found a place right in Hernando just off a chance. And I'm from like a small town exactly like this. And I was like, we have to live here. And we fell in love with it so much that we immediately built a house here, like finished out our lease,
there you go.
Built a house, and we're like, let's commit to this town. So that's honestly what was the big thing about this business. And I was like, let's be a part of this community, because we're so tired of traveling and not connecting with people. So we wanted to make a connection with a place that, we could call our own. And
amen to that.
Yeah.
That's what this podcast is for too. Quick side note here. I lived in Memphis for several years. The bridge from Memphis to Hernando was olive branch for about 15 months. And I had to furnish an apartment from scratch. And I did it in January of 2020. Whew. And I was able to get all my furniture. Everything was fine. We were like, okay, cool, not knowing what was ahead. And then when that shutdown happened, I was like, thank God I got all my furniture.
Yeah.
Because I would have been sleeping on my floor for months,
Oh, yeah.
So anyways, so welcome to Hernando. We're happy to have you here. And I do like that you're interested in the community as well, and have the same feeling and heart of Hernando like everyone else does here.
Yeah.
That's what attracted me to Hernando as well. So you decided to come to Hernando before getting the idea of the business, or
Before.
So Hernando was just, that's where we want to live.
Yep.
And then what does that look like when you all of a sudden kind of just wake up one day and decide starting a business? How'd that journey happen?
My wife and I, we both work. Well, we work here. My wife works in town, and which is really great because she was working out in Memphis.
And what's your wife's name?
Darlene.
Darlene. Hey, that's my mom's name.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, so she was, tired of her commute. She found a great job here working at HPB, and she loves it down there. I was working, it wasn't too far. I was working for a government agency right in Memphis, and I don't know, we just kind of woke up one day and I said, I really don't think that this is for me. Like, I'm glad that we did it, but I think it's really run its course. And so we're just kicking ideas. And, my wife, she's a super motivator. Is like, well, you can't just sit at home. And I was like, no, I agree. I was like, what are we going to do? And she'd always been talking about, just do a boba shop. I really want to do this. Like, I think we should do this. And I was like, you know what? Like, honestly, on the phone, she's like, what are you going to do? And I was like, let's just do it.
So boba came up because of your military history.
Correct,
and stations. Did you enjoy it then? Were you interested in the crafting of boba while you were out there?
No, I really wasn't. I just tried to get my hands on every kind of crazy drink that was out there because there's so many different things they do out there that you'd never heard of. Like, and they're using stuff that normally you'd be like, oh, that sounds gross, but it's not. And that's kind of what we do down here too.
They put more of like actual food in there.
Yeah, sometimes like red beans or mung beans, like stuff that we don't eat on a regular, like at all. Like or if you stayed here and lived your whole life, you'd never eat it. And we're actually bringing stuff like that here, which is crazy. Cool. Yeah, so we do a lot of...
In your ribbon cutting, you mentioned that boba's been around for quite a while.
Yeah, I think 60 years or so, yeah.
Which is amazing because as we in the States, or at least my perspective, with basically my daughter introducing me to it 2 years ago, it was harder to find a place. Now they're popping up everywhere. So it must be like a big boom. Everyone's figuring out, wow, this is a cool drink. It's new. Is there some truth behind that as far as just sort of like an explosion here recently?
Yeah, I think there is an explosion, but I think only like a few people are really doing it right. Like really investing. Like it's not like a money grab. Like we really want to make, like, basically we're selling, yes, we sell drinks, but we're selling like my wife's culture, my experience, like our ideas, and just like really expanding like what type of food possibilities and drink possibilities are out there, because we sell some crazy stuff down here that nobody's ever heard of and they love it, which
keeping
awesome.
it authentic.
Yes, right.
Yeah, that's key, and that quality is noticed.
Thank you.
Trust me. So, what's that journey like now? You talk to Darlene, your wife. Let's start a boba store or boba shop, or whatever you want to call it. When was this, by the way? Let's start
this
there.
This is right before Christmas of last year. So we're going in. I quit my job. I was like, I'm done. And so we have like a little bit of money saved up, and we're going into the Christmas holiday, and we're like, we need to find a place. So we start calling around. We talk to everybody. There's nothing open in Hernando. Luckily, Angie, who used to own the flower shop next to us, is like, I have a space for you.
Hernando Flower Shop.
That's right. Yeah. And we're like, we want it. They're like, well, you want to see it? No, we want it. Because it's like the perfect location. We want to be super close to the square. Like we want to be noticed, and we want to share it with people. So we sign the lease, we clear this place out, and we get to work. It takes a little longer than we think, but we get it done.
Yeah, so you signed the lease in December of 2021.
Yeah.
And when did you officially, even before the ribbon cutting, sell your first drink?
That's a crazy story.
Let's hear it. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. So because it took so long, we basically we exhausted every dime we had. And the day that I thought about opening, like I wanted to get everything together. And this is, I think, probably August 1st, right? August. Yeah. September 1st. Thank you, Darlene.
But no one heard that. Darlene in the background just reminded Ryan of the date.
Yeah. So September 1st. I walk in, or I go to the bank, and I'm like, I'm going to pull out money. I'm going to put it in the cash register. I'm going to see, basically figure out how this place is going to work. And I go into the bank, and they say, Mr. Ryan, you have negative $300 in your account. And I say, that's not good. I said, give me a little bit. I'm going to go make some money. So I go home. I grab $80 from my daughter's piggy bank, throw it in the register, flip on the open sign, and just start slinging boba. And I made just enough to get us out of the negative with the bank and put $100 in the cash register and return the $80 I borrowed from our young daughter and close the doors. I was like, that's all I could do, because I had no idea what was going on. It was my first day, and I was like, I just need to make money or this will never happen.
Let's try it. Let's open that door. Now, a quick question. Did you pay your daughter interest?
I mean, no, but...
the college tuition down the road, right?
For sure, yeah. But that was good. I'm actually, if I could have done it any other way, I would have done it that way every time, because that really, it made me hungry to do something good. And I haven't really had to struggle like that or be scared like that about a situation, as far as money or business. And I'm so thankful for that, because now if I can do that, I can do anything.
That's it. And I feel the same way, and that's why I love talking small business, because more often than not, the story is like yours, taking a big chance.
Yeah.
Bootstrapping, as they call it. Yeah. In other words, spending all your money and going to debt.
Yep.
Scary.
It's super
And then that
scary.
day you were just like, if I don't open the door, when am I?
Yeah,
let's get this thing going. So we're looking at September. So it's about 9 months of sitting on a lease.
Right.
And building this out and get everything ready.
Yeah.
It tests your patience, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know that feeling for sure.
Yeah. But it was honestly the whole situation, just the way it went down. I'm really thankful for all of it. Honestly, almost like a blessing, because, I learned a lot about how to deal with other people who own businesses, and what type of work I expect for what I want to pay for. And really kind of just gave me an opportunity to figure out how I want to do things in the future and what type of stuff that I'll expect or what I can get from other people. I don't know. That's probably not the best way to say it, but I'm just thankful for the experience because that type of situation will never put ourselves like that in again. So it was great to learn from that.
Did you have any kind of marketing? I know I followed your page well before you opened.
Right.
Was that kind of all you had going for you or to lead up to that first day? You know,
Pretty
or did
much,
you? Yeah. And then you just opened the door, and then people
just came in. Like, the sign came on. They're like, "What is this?" And I was, and I had to sell it. And but that was such a busy day.
It's funny. The first business I interviewed for this podcast was Area 51 Ice Cream. I don't know if you.
Oh yeah, we
of
go
course
there.
You
I
have.
love it.
And the owners are Steve and Karen Cubbage, and this obviously is about you. But the parallel there is, it just so happened in this same stretch, the Magnolia, what's it called? Magnolia
Square, yeah.
Magnolia Square. That was Area 51's first spot. And similar story. They exhausted all their resources. They took the time. They didn't know what to expect. They turned the light on, unlocked the door. And before they knew it, they had a line of people. And that, that's the kind of community this is. It's pretty remarkable.
Man, we've got such great support from everybody around here. And it's just good. I mean, we have... I was just honestly surprised how many repeat customers we got like right away and how open-minded people were. And sometimes we do have to sell some stuff to people, like convince them, and they always are very like.
Well, you got to
surprised.
educate them. It's so new to people,
right?
It's for like when I was at your ribbon cutting, everyone's like, "So what is this stuff?" Did my best to explain it, as I'm drinking one.
Right.
It's like, here it is, So I know you're so young as a business, but what are your goals like 5 years from now? And not to give you some corporate interview question here, but have you been able to sit back and really just soak it in that you've accomplished this and what's moving forward?
I think we had like a dinner to kind of pat ourselves on the back. It was kind of like, well, what do we want to do? Let's go eat something, that we weren't able to afford to eat before. So we actually went out to the new Korean barbecue place in South Haven because we're obviously huge fans of Asian food. And we just took a second and just were like, hey, now the work starts. Like it's been hard up to this point, but I mean, the work really starts now. But let's take a second, pat ourselves on the back, give big hugs and be like, yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're following our dreams. And then we'll put it behind us and let's continue to grind is really what it is.
So I know your wife, Darlene's a big part of this. I asked her to be on the show. She didn't. I don't know if she's peeking around the corner watching.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your wife and her place in this business and what
she
what
is.
She does.
She is the backbone. So she does all the finances. She helps me make the drinks. Like I honestly tried to like stay ahead of her as far as making good drinks, but every time she goes back there, it's like, well, I'm gonna try something. It's just out of this world, and I'm like, well, I'm down here all the time, so I should be making great stuff. But she's just so talented at everything she touches. She's just. Woo.
And she's from Guam?
She's from Guam, yeah. So she's Filipino, but she's from Guam. So, she has... Guam itself is just a collaboration of just all kinds of Asian cultures. So I truly blessed to have a wife that has been able to more or less have the same experience that I have in life. So, but yeah, she's the backbone. Without her, this place doesn't run, honestly. Yeah.
I hope she hears that.
She knows it. Yeah, it's no secret.
So what did you do for that 9 months? Was it just building this place out? And because I also remember there was a period where it was sort of like announced you were open and then it backed up a little bit. Was there some zoning stuff going on there too?
Honestly, the city was great. We had some issues with like some contractors here and there, and we're trying to figure stuff out with that. And that's kind of like what kept pushing us back a lot. And then eventually we kind of had to exhaust the rest of our finances to just get it open because we're like, hey, this, it's not going to get done. Like whatever route we're doing now, it's been 9 months. Like it's been plenty of time. We need to get this done right now. So
when I hear that number, 9 months, my personality thinks of 9 months of self-doubt and what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like second guessing, like, am I really doing this? This is crazy. Because it's such a hard decision to make.
It is. But one of the things about down here, like, I mean, so things that people don't know about us is like all of our employees, we really teach, like, we kind of really we want to build them up right, give them the confidence to overcome obstacles and stuff like that. Because we know they're not going to work here forever, but we want to make sure that we can build them up and let them know, like, hey, anything you want, you can do. So even when it comes down to when we get mad rushes down here and they start getting nervous, we take a second. It's like, hey, everybody breathe. Check it out. One drink at a time. This will pass. I was like, this is just another obstacle in life. And honestly, this is a small one. So let's knock this out together. And then once this is all done, then we can breathe. So we're just teaching them, there's a time to work. There's a time to relax. And, we're all a team. We're all about like bringing people together and working as a team, because teamwork, let's say, figure it this way, right? Like, there's a lot of really hard challenges in life. Let's say, like, raising a flag on Iwo Jima or storming the beaches of Normandy. You can't do that stuff alone. You have to have a team with you, and everybody's got to be on the same page. And that's kind of the mentality that we have down here. So there's no room for self-doubt. It's all or nothing. Like, it's sink or swim.
Yeah.
And they can do it. It's just they really have to believe in it. And that's like about us, and waiting for 9 months is like, well, it's been going on forever. Is this ever going to happen? There's nowhere to go but up. Like, we're not accepting anything except.
And you had no other choice.
No other choice. Yeah. Nothing but success. Like, that's how we are.
And instilling that confidence in a team really makes them grab some ownership of it.
That's right.
And then they're self-motivated to do a good job, and then everything flourishes from that.
Yeah.
And if you find yourself in the kitchen having that pep talk, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is.
Because that means your business is coming in. So that's a good thing,
Well, I mean, it is great, and a lot of people say that, but I honestly, for me, it's all about making good drinks and really just surprising people. Like, that's what gets me up out of bed in the morning, really. Yeah. It's just making good stuff, making good products, making good connections with people, and encouraging and inspire our workers. Like, that's what it is for me. And then Darlene's the business aspect of it.
Right.
But I love it. I honestly wish I'd have started doing this sooner. If you'd asked me 10 years ago what I'd be doing, it probably wouldn't be doing this, but I can't see myself doing anything but this. Mm-hmm. So
everything in its time, man.
Yeah, that's right. We have a sign. We have a sign that says that right above our kitchen.
Everything in its time.
That's right.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah.
I was 40 years old by the time I figured it out, and here I am turning 45, and I'm still working on it.
Right.
But late start, I guess some would consider, but it happens when it happens.
Hey, you show up for life when you're ready.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We should also mention that you have desserts here.
We do, yeah.
So let's talk about your desserts, because you also, much like the drink, you bring in authentic flavors and tastes and styles in. So
that's right.
What do we have for desserts here?
We do a lot of like Filipino style desserts and things like that. So we use a lot of ube. We use taro, which are different roots from different parts of the world, and we make chia puddings, which are super good, and we can do all kinds of. Honestly, if we made a flavor of every chia pudding, we wouldn't have enough space, like, in our cases to put them. So,
what is a chia pudding?
So chia pudding, we use chia seeds, we use almond milk, and what we do is we we shake them up, we allow them to sprout and thicken up, and then we put granola and raisins over the top of them to create a bed, so that we can put strawberries and blueberries, raspberries, honestly, anything. Sometimes we get crazy. We'll make a halo-halo, which is like a Filipino dessert with red beans, different types of coconut. So we'll like marinate them in different flavors and then put them all together. And it's just really, good stuff.
So unique.
Yeah.
You don't get that anywhere.
Nowhere. I don't think you could find that anywhere around here.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting because we're used to, obviously, Mexican restaurants.
Right.
Definitely in Hernando. Everyone listening is laughing right now at that. But just in general, you get the hibachi, you get the Mexican, other forms of Chinese food, you get Italian. So you have all, and of course they're all kind of Americanized a little bit. But here you're bringing an authentic product in, but it's this new twist with the boba drinks and these desserts, and it's so unique and it's fascinating, I think. And I would gather nothing around here like that.
Oh, I don't think so. Not at all. And my like one of my favorite things is Fridays, the Asian street food days. So it gives us like flexibility to share different aspects of other cultures that people haven't had a chance. So we'll make food from Korea, the Philippines, Thailand, Japan, all kinds of stuff. Hawaii, Guam, like what? Honestly, it's our oyster. It's our place. We have the freedom to do whatever we want, really. So whatever we want to share with people, we get the opportunity to do that.
That must be so fulfilling.
It really is. Yeah.
What has this done for you, and your wife as a team, as far as like an emotional and mental state? Like I said earlier, yes, you went to dinner and kind of patted yourself on the back, but I would gather this has been such a life-changing experience for you.
Yeah, it's been really good because we went from never meeting anybody in town to now we're meeting everybody, and it's that the outreach has been really good, and as far as like our communication as like a marriage is really improved as well because we're constantly bouncing ideas off each other. Like, so most people, they probably, will talk about their day or, well, I did this, and then, they'll watch TV or eat dinner and then they go to bed. For us, it's, hey, what do you think about doing this? I think this would be crazy. Like, yeah, or going out and shopping and researching, be like, hey, I think we can do this or like build this type of menu for the next week and stuff like that. So we're just honestly hyping each other up. We're each other's hype man, so we're like, let's do this, let's try this out and all that. And it's so much fun because every time we do it, it's a better result than what we expect, because we always expect like a particular amount of success and it always surpasses that. So we're like truly blessed for that. So
I think we've all, through day jobs and I would say regular jobs, you're not really allowed to just do wild and crazy ideas.
Right.
You have a job to do.
Right.
You do it. Your manager might want some feedback, but it is what it is. You do your job. But when you own a business, you have an idea, you can do it. You can try it.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
And what you guys are doing must be fulfilling as far as being so creative with drinking food.
Yeah. Well, we're just super creative people. Like a big portion of all the artwork that we've done in here, we've done ourselves. And one of our big things is we always like do karaoke. So maybe in the future, we hope to have karaoke here.
Oh, you want to sing a song for us?
No, not right now. No. But, yeah, we're super creative people, and we're really family oriented, and we really just want to share our, how we are. And so we think we're pretty good people and pretty cool people. So we just want to share that with everybody.
So your daughter that you robbed to get things
That's
going.
Right.
What's her age?
She turns 4 today, and we're actually having a birthday party.
Oh, so that's your
what's
daughter.
going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So context, when I came in to record, some of your family members were in the lobby setting up what looked like a little birthday. So now I know that was your daughter out there.
That's right.
So that's cool. She's turning 4 today?
Today.
Awesome. Well, happy birthday. What's her name?
Delaney.
Yeah. Okay, great. So only child?
Well, no, I have a son in Virginia, but she's the only one that lives with us here. And then my son, he comes out to visit every so often.
How old is your son?
He's 10. And his birthday is also in October. So it's Delaney's birthday, then my birthday, then my son's birthday. So easy dates to remember. Right. So if we have more kids, hopefully they all come out in October, because I'm terrible with dates, as you heard earlier.
That's right. Well, look, thanks so much for doing this.
Yes, sir.
I'm really happy that we could do this and hopefully spread the word about this awesome place.
Yeah.
Again, selfishly, I'm a fan, so I knew I wanted you on the show immediately. But is there anything else you'd like to say in closing? Not to put you on the spot, man.
If you're unsure about it, like honestly, our drinks, they speak for themselves. Like like I said before, if you walk in here, you'll walk out with something you love, and we will bend over backwards to make sure that happens. So
yeah, and I can say firsthand, the service here is awesome too.
Thank you.
You guys are on top of it. So, well, now let's challenge the audience here.
Okay.
I want to challenge them to spread the word here. So please, if you want to help support Ryan, Darlene, Delaney, the store, the crew, everything, please share this episode. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. All of them are at The Real Hernando. Plus, go to therealhernando.com. Grab the link for this episode, post it on your socials, email a friend that might be interested. Share and engage with our posts, please, because it helps more than you would ever imagine. for everyone involved. Boba Cream and the Real Hernando would benefit greatly and grow that audience. So we're highlighting and amplifying these businesses in a bigger way. You can find the podcast on YouTube. Again, our website, therealhernando.com, Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Audible, iHeartRadio, all the major platforms is where you can find this podcast. Ryan, thanks so much for doing this,
Thank
man.
you so much.
It was a pleasure.
It's been awesome. Yeah.